This is how you do it.
Bryant wasting no time grabbing that ball with the bare hand. You see how Russell positioned himself to make that relay, had his shoulders opened up so he could just catch, turn, and throw. Contreras staying cool and calm, handling that long hop and then applying the tag, and fighting chance here against Rosenthal, down just one. 12 saves and 14 tries, but the numbers overall not good. High ERA. Look at the walks. 22 innings. He's walked 19. He's also allowed 23 hits, so that's a lot of base runners for a closer.
Addison Russell takes high for ball one. 98 on the gun. Rosenthal. Nobody's left. Over 41,000 here at Wrigley Field tonight. Atmosphere has been incredible the entire homestand.
Oof. Boy, to let it eat. Rosenthal at 99 miles an hour. Yeah, he'll get to 100 from time to time. That's an outstanding changeup. He's got some big hits late in games this year. Good pass at 98 there.
To get Russell. So Rosenthal strikes out Addison Russell, and here's Almora Jr. Albert is 0 for 3, a strikeout, a ground out, and retired on a nice defensive play in right by Stephen Piscotty.
Got a better chance of doing some damage if you try to go the other way on that high fastball.
JD, Chris Coughlin on deck. Pinch hitter after Almora. And it's low. 1-1. Center, long tracking, it's over his head. Almora on his way to second, and he'll stop there with a double. Tying run in scoring position.
Colton Wong was demoted to the minor leagues. He was struggling as a hitter, but the other part of it was to get him some looks out in center field. You see a little bit of a late break. That's a tough read for any center fielder, but Wong, not a lot of experience out there. He played some his freshman year in college. And then after being demoted this year to AAA, played just a handful of games out there. But they want to have that option to move him around, to become kind of a super utility type player, or at least a guy that can cover center field as well as play the infield.
The bench. 2 shots to get it tied at least. And the pitch. He clipped him. Winning run is on base. That'll bring up Ben Zobrist.
Listen to this crowd. Oh, man, these people are into it.
Derek Lilliquist is the pitching coach, and he's going to head out to the mound. That was down at field level near the end of the game Saturday night and Sunday night. And it definitely reminded me of last year's postseason here at Wrigley Field. Incredible. Lefty Kevin Seacrest is up. Interesting. You mentioned it earlier with O on the mound and a base runner in the 8th inning. Mike Matheny didn't have anybody up. But with the closer on the mound here in the 9th, he's got Seacrest up, and I suppose that speaks to the seasons O and Rosenthal have had.
Yeah, I think the trust factor in Rosenthal definitely down right now.
What's going on here?
I'm not sure.
Remember, warnings had been issued earlier, but that was clearly unintentional. So when you issue warnings, it really doesn't mean that anybody who gets hit, a guy gets kicked out. You still have to show intent. And Almora to third, out. Oh. Molina throws out Almora, but we might have a review here. It was close.
The throw beat him. The question is, did Peralta get the tag down?
He did.
Yeah, he did. Wow, it's a tough break.
So that's the second out.
Doubly tough because Coghlan didn't follow him, so he didn't get into scoring position himself.
So Chris still at first, 1-0 on Zobrist. The pitch. 2-0. Joe has said you do not want to coach or manage the aggressiveness out of these young players.
Well, it's a very valuable base if he can get to third base with just one out. Of course, the downside is he's already in scoring position.
Round ball, base hit in the right. Coghlan will make the turn. He'll end up at third. And the Cubs are alive. It is the ex-Cardinal Jason Hayward.
And now does Matheny pull the plug on his closer? Could not be a more stark difference in the vibe in the dugouts with Joe Maddon, who's, you know, Mr. Laid Back, and Mike Matheny, who is very intense. Yeah, that Almora play, that's one of those plays. If he's safe, we're applauding him. Man, good read, ball in the dirt. He gets the third base with just one out.
Two outs, 9th inning, 3-2 St. Louis. Coghlan the runner at third. Tying run. Zobrist at first. Winning run. Ball one.
Coghlan aggressively coming down the third baseline, trying to give Rosenthal a little something to think about. A full shift on, so Peralta is way off the line at third, allowing Coghlan to take some liberties.
Carpenter makes a catch, and the Cardinals barely hang on. Rosenthal Gave up 3 base runners in the 9th, but Molina threw out Almora at 3rd. And St. Louis takes game 1, 3-2 the final.
Yeah, one of those what-if games. Had Almora Jr. stayed put. I don't know the outcome of the ensuing at-bat. We don't know if Zobrist would have hit that ball in right field the way he did, but certainly what if. Entertaining ball game. And the guys in red snatch game 1 of this series.
So they've shaved a game off their deficit. The Cubs lead in the division is 11.5 over the second place Cardinals, who snap a 5-game losing streak. Toast of the game is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. And Jaime Garcia, who got the win, is the toast of the game. Oh, I guess we're going Willson Contreras.
Yeah,
let's do that.
Because of that throw right there.
Yes.
He was the runner-up, and then that throw, and then this tag after his RBI single propelled him into our Binny's toast of the game. That's
a better toast of the game from our perspective. Binny's Beverage Depot, the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. We are back with you on CSN this Thursday night, 6 o'clock Central, to open up a 4-game weekend in Miami. We have more to come. Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live right around the corner. Final score once again, Cardinals 3, Cubs 2. Stay tuned for post-game live.
Well, some high drama there in the 9th. Cap and Holly with you. Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live. Cubs battle. They never stop. They keep coming. And you get Albert Almora thrown out at 3rd. Otherwise, it's probably a tied ball game. However, I like aggressiveness. I had no problem with it. What about you?
Yeah, it's aggressive baseball right there. It's what you want to see, especially from your young players. Again, you know, he doesn't see that ball hit the umpire. He doesn't see the ball only go about a foot and a half away from Yadi Molina there. He sees the ball in the dirt. He sees the ball get away. So it becomes reactionary and it becomes aggressive. Sure, we look at it. We say, what if Ben Zobrist comes up, gets a base hit right there? We can play the what if game all you want. But the bottom line is this team competed. They were chasing all game long, playing from behind, gave themselves an opportunity late in this game. Great play on the relay, the double over Bryant's head, the exchange there to keep it there, to get to Rosenthal and give yourself a chance. The Cubs should walk away from this one feeling like, you know what, they competed well tonight. Maybe they gave away a few at-bats in the middle of those ball games. Garcia settled in, but all in all, a good ball game.
All right, we'll have all the highlights. We'll hear from Joe Maddon. We'll hear from John Lackey. Cardinals beat the Cubs game 1 of this 3-game set. Cubs still 11.5 up in the division. Cap and Holly back with you after this on our Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live.
We're testing Hanes underwear and socks with X-Temp technology.
Hey, Dad. Emily. Ready?
No, wait. Slow down a little. Ow! It's designed to help keep you cool. Hanes revolutionary X-Temp technology. When you're cool, you're comfortable.
Something's irresistible at Subway restaurants. It's the steak and cheese footlong, and all June long, it's just $6. Covered with melty cheese and your choice of fresh veggies. This exclusive deal ends soon. Get your $6 steak and cheese footlong today. Subway, fresh is what we do.
My name is Rick Lopez. I'm the executive chef here at La Condesa in Austin, Texas. I started when I was a young guy, plugging away, pushing, doing the hours, and it's kind of brought me here to where I am now, just hard work. My philosophy is work. Work and it'll happen. Always give your best because nobody can take that away from you.
Greatness is within reach. Right now, you could get a great deal on the new Civic. KBB.com's overall best buy for 2016. From Honda.
Every mile is a possibility, a chance for victory, and financial success. Every mile is an opportunity to get closer or much, much farther away. Every mile counts, and high-quality gasolines from Valero clean and keep your engine working its best through all of them. Valero.
They say an old-fashioned is served in a 10-ounce glass with a maraschino cherry and an orange slice. Actually, it's served in a room with a brick fireplace and a deer head mounted on the wall by a waitress named Diane. This is a Wisconsin supper club. When you're having fun, we're having fun.
Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers, as reliable as the cars themselves. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Audi, truth in engineering. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Toyota, discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. This is Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
Popped up. Carpenter makes a catch, and the Cardinals barely hang on.
Well, the Cardinals hang on, and the rivalry round 1 of this series goes to St. Louis. 3-8-0, just a little bit better than 2-9-0. Garcia 5-6 over Lackey 7-3, and his 13th save to Trevor Rosenthal. Well, welcome into Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. He is Todd Hollandsworth. I'm David Kaplan. It's a good baseball game. Yeah. It got exciting early, exciting late, a little slow in the middle. Cubs battled, and the Cardinals won.
Maybe a little beanball war. I don't know. It got things a little, we had some warnings issued, so we were kind of excited.
A little spicy.
Yeah, a little spicy. We'll see where it goes from there. But the point is, yeah, that's where this game really was. At the beginning of this ball game, you had some home runs, you had a battle back, you had a Chris Bryant double. Some good things kind of happened as both pitchers settled in. Both pitchers did a fantastic job really getting it past that third inning and taking it to where they were, putting out quality starts. It's certainly what you want to see. And then we talked about the vulnerability in that St. Louis bullpen. Very, very interesting to watch Mike Matheny kind of use his bullpen to go to 0 and to kind of set it up. Though you got Rosenthal, it's still his closer, but his closer's on red alert. You see that already. Had Seegers down there getting loose. Very, very interesting dynamic right there. And again, the Cubs put runners on. They put themselves in the position. A little aggressiveness. I don't want to call it over-aggressiveness. I still think it's a good play. If I was out there, I would have done the exact same thing, and I would be answering questions at the end of the day. Why did you try to go to third base right there? But I get it. The aggressiveness ends up costing you right there, and that's the way this ball game ends.
All right, let's go through the highlights. Top of the second inning. Brandon Moss gets all of this one. Lackey leaves it right out over the middle. Solo Jack to right comes on the 0-2 pitch. Just the second home run Lackey's allowed to a right-handed batter this season. Cardinals take a 1-0 lead.
Well, credit where credit is due. Listen, John actually makes his pitch right there. You see Wilson's glove. It's not moving. This is exactly what they were trying to attempt to do, which was get in under Moss. The problem is Moss has been locked in. He has been cleaning house there on the inside part of the plate. That 0-2 pitch did not surprise him. Line shot home run.
All right, 2-0 Cardinals top of the third with Johnny Peralta takes Lackey deep. Solo Jack makes it 3-0. And we just got another pitch out where a guy could get his hands on it and extend.
This is a miss. This is a misfire right here. Watch the glove move. You see it out across the plate. You see Wilson's glove travel. This ball was supposed to be inside. That's what you want to do to Johnny Peralta, kind of tie him up, keep his arms in. When he gets them extended, he does things like this pretty regularly. Makes the lead 2-0, 3-0 at the time.
All right, now bottom of the third. Man on first, Chris Bryant was going to hit a shot into the left field corner. That ball is smoked. And that ball is going to go right to the ivy. It dives in the ivy. It pops out. Zobrist will roll all the way around from first to score. The Cubs are down 3-1.
Yeah, great piece of hitting by Chris Bryant. Jaime Garcia really had gotten his attention early in this ball game by throwing inside. I know that you get to the hit batter part of it, and it says, well, he was really, what was the intent behind it? But really, Garcia was trying to get in on him all day. So nice adjustment by Bryant.
And then Willson Contreras single up the middle, driving in Bryant, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
Well, what we've learned about Willson so far this year is he likes to use the middle of the field. Great approach right there. Gets ahead in the count, gets a pitch he can handle, and drives it right back through the box.
All right, top of the ninth. 2 outs. Man up first. Jed Jerko with the shot to the gap in left center field, goes off the wall. Chris Bryant comes up with the ball. He's going to hit the cutoff man. So nice to see fundamental baseball. There's a beautiful throw. There's a beautiful tag play by Willson Contreras. inning over.
Well, of course, I'm going to be most impressed with Chris Bryant being a former outfielder. The ability to get himself in position right there, barehand that ball, gave this play a chance. Sure, a lot of credit goes to Addison Russell. Tremendous throw, way to get rid of it quickly. Contreras to secure the throw and make the tag. Fantastic all the way around, but I love the fact that we even had a shot at this. Again, not even using his glove out there in the outfield. Chris Bryant coming up with the barehand exchange, quick turn. You're starting to see the versatility of Chris Bryant.
And I love the emotion from Contreras. He is a vocal, passionate baseball player. Bottom of the ninth, Trevor Rosenthal in. After an Addison Russell out, Albert Almora Jr. doubles to the wall in center. Now the Cubs are in business.
Yeah, great piece of hitting right there. You saw him foul one off down the line. What did he tell you he was trying to do? All right, this guy's throwing 98, 99 miles an hour. I'm going to go the other way. I'm not looking to jerk one to left. I'm going to stay through the baseball, drives it out over the center fielder's head.
Chris Coghlan gets hit in the jersey, and the Cubs now have the winning run at first. Ben Zobrist at the plate, and Albert Almora Jr. tries to advance on a ball in the dirt, and he makes the out at third base. It was close, but he's out.
Well, you give credit where credit is due. Yadi Molina did a nice job reacting right there, but again, he went because that ball got past Yadi Molina. He did not know it hit the umpire.
All right, there's the Zobrist base hit. Now the Cubs have men at first and third with 2 outs. Jason Hayward breaks his bat, and Jason Hayward breaks the hearts. The game is over.
Yeah, just a little bit too much velocity right there. Jason's got to get a little bit more extension on the inside fastball. Rosenthal, it's what he does, 98 miles an hour. You see it right there. Gets in on his hands, breaks his bat, and that's your ball game.
All right, time for our Elk Grove pitching recap. Let's talk about John Lackey first. Little up and down early in the first inning. He's going to K. Matt Carpenter. He's going to K. Holiday. He's going to walk Piscotty. And then the second, another walk. Just to Carpenter. Diaz with an RBI single and a walk to Holiday. And you can see he was just not quite as sharp as we've seen.
Well, and this might be as simple as saying Willson Contreras. I mean, again, I don't want to speak to that, John. I'm going to let him do that. Again, the relationship there, we talked about it for making his first big league start. You know, you got to get used to it. I mean, again, we talk about it. I say it all the time. This is a relationship, knowing how he catches the ball, how he receives the ball, how he brings it back to the strike zone. All of these things are factors into the ball game. It's very interesting to me. You know, John Lackey's been so good this year. In the first 3 innings, as we watched his pitch count skyrocket through 3 innings, he faced 8 batters after getting 2 outs, which is surprising to me. That's what John has done. You know, we talk about those shutdown innings, getting that final out. In the first 3 innings, he faced 8 additional hitters after getting 2 outs in the inning, and that says an awful lot. And part about that relationship, and a part probably being just a little bit off on his game. But the last 3 innings were absolutely lights out.
All right, you see Lackey right there, and 109 pitches, good night's work, gets a quality start. They don't get him enough support tonight, and he gets a loss. UPS Store, taking care of business. Player of the game. Got to tip your cap. Jaime Garcia was pretty darn good.
Yeah, once again, 100 pitches, right? 6 2/3. I talked about getting him out of after 5, so he got 5 more additional outs and really did set the table. You saw as this game developed, you know, the issues that they're dealing with in the bullpen. So they were looking for a lengthy start from Garcia, and this was a close ball game. And he kept it there. Made a couple mistakes in that 3rd inning where the Cubs were able to jump on him, but they kept it at 3-2.
All right, we also had a couple of beanballs in this game. All right, so you see the Cubs, I didn't think Lackey was trying to hit anybody. It was an inside pitch, and then boom, Chris Bryant's going to take one right in the ribs. That's just an inside pitch with a guy who's crowding the plate. You cannot tell me that was intentional.
No, ask Anthony Rizzo. I mean, he gets hit 30 times a year. We know this. Brandon Mossie's got to expect this. I mean, again, I don't believe that there was intent. If John Lackey was trying to drill somebody, I think he would drill somebody.
Okay, that, to me,
yeah, it looks like it looks a little bit more on
payback
purpose.
right there.
My issue with this is where that pitch is. That, to me, that's up near the head. I get a little testy about things like that. Again, nothing really comes after this. We'll hear what everybody has to say after the ball game, but I was not a big fan of that. And again, I don't want this to sound like we're taking sides here, but when you look at Lackey, and I know John's personality, and I've been around guys like that, you know, if he's hitting somebody or he's going to go after somebody, I don't think he's looking to graze a uniform top. That's kind of how that one went.
You get it in the ribs.
I know it caught him on the elbow right there, but Brandon Moss, much like Anthony Rizzo, likes to crowd the plate. We also saw him go deep earlier in the ballgame. He's got a very similar approach, pulls the ball an awful lot. So, again, trying to get in there with that fastball. You saw where Contreras set up. It slips a little bit in there, and I know that there was a little extra on it, maybe a little extra effort, but it wasn't to hit him. It was almost like he was really just trying to get it in there and overthrow it, maybe hold on to the baseball a little bit longer, catches Moss. Now, what you watch from Garcia, after, you know, we see the hit by pitch up by Chris Bryant's head. 2 pitches earlier in the same at bat, the same thing was kind of going on, just a little lower on the body.
All right, let's go to Wrigley. Joe Maddon meeting with the media, brought to you by Xfinity.
You welcome aggressive mistakes that play at third.
Actually, I guess the ball hit the umpire's foot, so it kind of altered, what he might have seen from on. I loved it. I think when he hit the dirt, he kind of like slowed up or stopped. If he'd been safe there, then you have runners at first and third because there's all different things that occurred. I have no problem with Albert. Hits the double into the gap. Their catcher, Molina, made a really good play. They made a good tag. I'd never want to coach the aggressiveness out of that young man. I think he's been playing great. They made a good play. His judgment might have been impacted by the ball hitting the umpire in the foot.
What about the back end of it where Chris could have gone to second?
Yeah, that was the one part. He could have gone to second base, absolutely. And then had he done that, who knows if Zobrist's ground ball goes right into first base. All these crazy little things occur when the out is made. When Coughlin doesn't go, the first baseman still holds him on. Coughlin goes, the first baseman. You don't know if the play would have occurred the same way or not. All these little, that's the beauty of our game. All the little nuance with the movement based on outs, positioning of everybody, defensively, everything. So I had no problem with any of that. I thought we played our butts off. And I also believe that's one of John Lackey's better games. The fact that he did not have it all going on, and for 6 innings, kept them to 3 runs, I thought that was outstanding. Addison had a hell of a game at shortstop. How about the relay in the 9th inning from KB? Everybody talks about KB. KB off the wall, perfect relay throw, and then another one, and then a great play. There's nothing to complain about right there, man. They beat us 3-2. Again, I said that a couple of days. I'll take that game every night because we'll win a lot of those.
How did you think that Willson and Johnny? All right, there you go. Time for a break here at Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. We'll be right back.
Cubs Postgame Live is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all.
Looks like we missed most of the show.
Yeah, and there's no way to restart it.
With DirecTV, there is.
You see, we got the power to turn back time, so let's restart the show that started at 9. And while we're at it, let's give you back your due and give her back the guys she liked before you. Hey, that's the power to turn back time.
Get the ultimate all-included bundle. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Thanks for testing our new car service today.
Of course.
Our service is a little bit different.
Okay.
We charge by the amount of gas consumed. Since we traveled 5.1 miles and this car offers an EPA estimated 37 miles per gallon highway, your total is 31 cents.
What?
22 cents.
I can pay you cash.
The all-new 2016 Chevy Malibu LT.
Qualified lessees can get this impressive all-new 2016 Chevy Malibu LT for around $199 a month. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you.
Call Adolescent Growth today and see how our proven treatment programs for eating disorders can begin to bring the sunshine back in the life of your teen and your family.
Please don't take my sunshine away.
Why jump out of a perfectly good airplane? Why not? Chicagoland Skydiving Center was voted the best in the U.S. with a perfect safety record, a one-of-a-kind environment, and round-trip shuttle service from downtown Chicago. Come experience the greatest adventure in the area. Chicagoland Skydiving Center in Rochelle. Visit us at perfectlygoodairplane.com.
Time now for our Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Who's hot and who's not in the last 30 days. positive. Who's hot? How about Salvador Perez? 415, 34 of 82, 6 bombs, 14 knocked in, and an obscene 1.161 OPS. Who's not? Brutal. Carlos Santana. 202, 17 Ks, and an awful 287 OBP for the red-hot Indians. Welcome back. The Cubs postgame live presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Cap and Holly with you. Time for the Honda winning box score, and unfortunately, this one belongs to the Deadbirds. Take a look at the numbers there. Aldamus Diaz had a couple of knocks. Piscotti had a hit and a walk. Peralta had a solo jack. Brandon Moss, that solo jack, is 16th, and Colton Wong a couple of hits.
I know they only scored 3 runs in this ball game, but I think even just looking at the lineup, you realize how potent the St. Louis Cardinals are this year. A couple of solo home runs early in this ball game become the difference makers. They've got power in the lineup, very similar to the Cubs as well, and some of the better offenses around baseball. Scoring runs is not their issue. Their pitching has been, and really, unless they get it worked out, is going to be an issue the rest of the season. That's what's so surprising about this team this year, and you saw some of those bullpen issues that they had, but offensively, they're a pretty good team.
All right, let's take a look at the Cubs box score from tonight. Not a ton of productivity in there, but everybody other than Addison Russell and the pitcher spot had a knock. Big night for Ben Zobrist, 3 for 5, scored a run, and had a strikeout, had that hit in the 9th inning. Hayward, a 1 for 5 on an infield hit. Bryan had the double. Rizzo, Contreras, Baez all had hits, and Albert Almora the big double. Let's talk, though, about Willson Contreras.
Well, I mean, again, for your first big league game, playing off of a pinch hit home run, comes up with a big RBI here, cuts the deficit to 1. I mean, again, I actually thought in this game, I wanted to take him as my key performer, but I thought that changeup, not having seen it before, was probably going to be a factor for Contreras. I mean, that's what Jaime Garcia does. This guy's crafty. He knows how to pitch. He's going to play on aggressiveness. Again, good at bat right there. Got himself ahead in the count. Probably recognized where the holes were and uses the big part of the field. That's always a good thing for a young hitter when you're looking for your results early in the game and you're going up against guys that you have not faced before in your career, using the middle of the field. So far, so good. Not a whole lot to go off of, but again, I thought a pretty good debut game for him.
Well, I'll be right back at Cubs postgame live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
Find it. Go out there and find that place. Because only you know where you're going. This isn't a dress rehearsal. This is life. Yeah. And it begins when you find your fit.
Yeah. Thank you. Ordering Chinese food is a very predictable experience. I order B14, I get B14. No surprises. Buying business internet, on the other hand, can be a roller coaster white-knuckle thrill ride. You're promised one speed, but do you consistently get it? You do with Comcast Business. It's reliable, just like Kung Pao fish. Thank you, Pink.
Reliably fast internet starts at $59.95 a month. Comcast Business, built for business.
The U.S. Open Championship will be played in the great state of Wisconsin for the first time ever next June at Erin Hills. Don't miss your opportunity to see the world's greatest players compete on the game's grandest stage in golf's ultimate test as they vie for the coveted U.S. Open trophy. Limited tickets available only while they last. Visit usopen.com today.
Kenneth, are they closing the stage this afternoon for auditions? What's on that piece of paper?
Oh, Miss Maroney, your forehead.
Should not be doing anything. I just had Botox.
I know exactly what's happening. Whoa!
This is a bad streaming experience.
The Girly Show is a real fun ladies show.
Don't let bad streaming ruin a good show.
Don't look at me.
Only Verizon has the largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. Can your network say that? Switch now, buy 2 Samsung phones, and get a free TV, plus up to $650 back, only on America's Best Network.
Summer's here, but we're the ones bringing the heat. Consider this your invitation to the Dodge Summer Clearance Event. Get $3,500 combined cash allowance plus $500 bonus cash or 0% APR for 60 months on the 2016 Dodge Grand Caravan.
Cubs Cubs fans, show your team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card available only at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Member FDIC. Holly loves his Cubs debit card. Let's look back at Holly's keys from the pregame show, sponsored by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
I think we're going to have to give credit where credit is due. Mr. Garcia-Jaime did a fantastic job extending that pitch count. Again, the pitch count we probably were watching most closely with John Lackey's because of what happened in those first 3 innings as it rose rather rapidly. Garcia really didn't get himself into trouble, obviously late. They got him out of there after 6 2/3. But again, I thought the game plan, maybe he could have executed a little bit better, but really for me, I thought he made his pitches, and that's what it really came down to. He managed his pitch count well and did a nice job changing speeds and keeping the ball down. Wrigley round trippers didn't happen for us, did happen for them. The hitting conditions at Wrigley are going to be, we're going to be talking about home runs in this series. And the last one, welcome to the show, Willson Contreras. That really just comes down to his ball game tonight, that relationship. I'm real curious to hear what John Lackey has to say when it's all said and done about how that communication and how that job went. I mean, there's certain things as you were listening to the game, JD was talking about setting and doing some really good things back there, but I think it was a good first game.
We'll be right back on Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield.
If you feel like singing a song and you want other people to sing along, just sing what you feel. Don't let anyone say it's wrong. When there's a light, what light? Well, there's a light, what light? Well, there's a light, white light. We built this thingy. We built this thingy on tech that's old. We built this thingy. But we built.
Yeah, Xfinity built this newer thingy that lets me search with my voice.
We're good.
Don't fall for DirecTV. Find shows faster with the X1 voice remote, only from Xfinity. Sign up today or get started with this great offer. Call or go online today.
It's not too big and it's not too small.
Chevrolet's crossovers come in 3 sizes: Trax, Equinox, and Traverse.
Who wants to sit in it?
I do.
Shotgun.
Oh, wow.
This car matches me. I like this.
It's a perfect fit.
Get more than you expect for less than you imagine from the Chevrolet crossover family.
Qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 60 months on this 2016 Chevy Equinox. Plus, find your tag to get an extra $2,250 cash allowance on select Equinox in stock.
From the first building block to the last coat of paint, Menards is here to help. Get an 11% rebate on everything in the store, even sale prices. Tackle your summer projects and save 11% on all power tools, including name brands like Bosch. Update your floors with an 11% rebate on all Great Lakes hardwood flooring. Save big money and get an 11% rebate on everything, even sale prices, now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Our mountains challenge us. Push us back. Knock us down. Tell us it can't be done. But then, one day you reach the summit, and you realize the harder the climb, the better the reward. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
Cubs and the Cardinals continue the series tomorrow night at the friendly confines. Jason Hamill gets the start for the Cubs. He'll be opposed by Adam Wainwright. Hamill enters the contest with an ERA of .226. Last time out, he allowed just 1 run on 5 hits, no walks in 7 innings against the Washington Nationals, but got a no decision.
Yeah, I'm excited for this matchup. Jason's been throwing the ball really, really well. Good to see him so efficient in his last start. Expect to see that once again. Again, this is similar lineups to the Washington Nationals. St. Louis Cardinals have a very, very good lineup as well. Adam Wainwright has been throwing the ball much better, so we'll see how this one goes.
All right, I will see you later in the week.
Sounds good.
Thank you for watching Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Don't forget, SportsNet Central is coming up next.
Well, the Cubs and Cardinals renewed their rivalry on the north side. Hi, everyone, with Layla Rahimi. I'm Kip Lewis. Welcome to SportsNet Central, presented by GMC.
And when it's Sox versus Sox in Boston, it's just too much for 9 innings to contain. And last night's NBA Finals should solve the debate once and for all about which team is the greatest of all time. Well, according to a couple of former Bulls anyway, yeah. But it's all on SportsNet Central right now.
To SportsNet Central, presented by GMC.
Well, after being swept over the weekend by the Indians, the Sox headed to Boston. Robin Ventura's team entered the night 3 games under 500 and sitting in 4th place in the division. So maybe a trip to historic Fenway Park would help get the Sox back on track. First of 4 games between these two teams. Take a look at the highlights here. Start out in the first inning, maybe, or you can just look at me. First inning, there we go. Highlights here. 2 runners on with 1 out. Stephen Wright throws the ball into center, so the Sox get runners on 2nd and 3rd. But after a Melky Cabrera strikeout, Todd Frazier flies out to left. White Sox blow a great scoring chance there. Second inning now, Brett Laurie leading off. Hits one off the Green Monster in left. He would get a double and advance to 3rd on a sac fly. And then 2 outs. The ball gets past Christian Vasquez. Laurie going to hustle home to give the Sox a 1-0 lead. So Miguel Gonzalez got the start for the White Sox, and he put in another good start, allowing just 4 hits, 2 walks in 6 2/3 while striking out 5 Red Sox. But in the 7th, he gets into a little bit of trouble with a runner on 2nd and 2 outs. Vasquez singles to center. That brings home Chris Young, and that would tie the game at 1. So we move ahead to the 9th. White Sox get runners on 1st and 2nd with 1 out. Laurie at the plate. He strikes out on the high heat there. Then the next batter, Alex Avila. He's going to ground out. Then at this point, the White Sox were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Bottom 9th, Zach Putnam walks Young. That would load the bases with nobody out. So Zach Duke would come in. He gets Dustin Pedroia to strike out. Then gets Vasquez to ground into the fielder's choice. Great play right here by Alex Avila on the force. And then finally, Ryan Lamar strikes out. Duke gets the White Sox out of a jam and into extras. So we go to the 10th inning. Jose Abreu came up with 2 outs and runners on the corners.
That ball hit hard, base hit in the gap. And they're going to wave at him home. Here's the throw. Safe. Sox lead it 3-1. Yes.
Abreu's big 2 RBI double gives the White Sox the lead for good. The White Sox finally bounce back. They beat the Red Sox 3-1 is the final.
You know, you bring him in that situation, and you know you're hoping for the best. But you know, he did a great job of just you know, coming in throwing strikes and throwing stuff they couldn't put in play in the air. So you know, I think he's a ground ball guy. So I mean, you're hoping that he can hit it. We put, you know, Sally back in. We haven't done it ever, but we've done it, you know, in the last 2 days, and I just thought Dookie did a great job.
Avila's play to save it.
Yeah, I mean, that throw, you know, for a catcher to pick that, I know he's played some first base, so you know, but to do it with gear on and knowing that the game's on the line there, it's good play all the way around.
Well, Chris Sale takes the hill tomorrow in the 2nd game of the series against Clay Buchholz. And you can see it all right here on Comcast Sportsnet. First pitch from Fenway Park comes your way at 6. After the game, Chuck and Bill break it all down on White Sox Postgame Live.
Well, we start our Cubs coverage with our Aiken Law injury report. And before tonight's game, the Cubs placed outfielder Dexter Fowler on the 15-day disabled list with a sore hamstring. Fowler suffered the injury in Saturday's win over the Pirates and then sat out yesterday's game. Cubs general manager Jed Hoyer told reporters it's nothing serious. The team recalled pitcher Carl Edwards Jr. from Iowa to take his roster spot.
Shugel's pitch to Contreras. Swung on, hit in the air, deep center field. That goes McCutcheon. That ball is gone for a home run. On the first pitch he ever sees in the big leagues, Willson Contreras homers to center.
This is an amazing feeling. It's incredible. I don't have the words to explain how happy I am to be here.
Willson Contreras was having a 2016 Chicago Cubs kind of call-up so far, as in things were going well. He had his first home run last night on the first pitch of his first major league at-bat, and he hadn't even had his first start yet. It was the start every millennial thinks they'll have. Extreme success in no time. Next for Contreras, starting behind the mask and catching for the Gen Y starter who had won his fair share of games in John Lackey. Lackey's former team, St. Louis, would give him problems early in the ballgame. We go top second. Lackey facing first baseman Brandon Moss, and Moss crushes this 0-2 fastball out of the park. That is a solo shot, his 7th long ball of the month as the Redbirds get on the board first. Later in the inning, 2 on, 2 out for Aledmys Diaz. He hooks one off the end of the bat into shallow left. That brings around Colton Wong from second. It is now 2-0 Cards, and they weren't done yet. Rode half of the third. First man up, Johnny Peralta. He smacks the first pitch he sees to the people in left. That solo home run made it 3-0 St. Louis. Lackey in trouble through 74 pitches in just 3 innings of work, but the Cubs would extract some revenge in their half of the third. After Ben Zobrist led off the inning with a single, Chris Bryant brings him home on an RBI double to left, his 48th RBI of the year, getting the Cubs on the board. A couple of batters later, Bryant now on third. 2 outs for Willson Contreras. The kid comes up clutch with another run-scoring knock. That single up the middle gets the Cubs back within a run. That score would hold into the 9th inning. Cardinals looking to add insurance, but Contreras would answer the call. A man at first for Diaz. Watch the youngster behind the plate fire a strike to second base. Contreras picks off Matt Carpenter for out number 1. After Diaz walked, Mike Matheny would pinch hit Jed Jerko to oppose Clayton Richard.
Club to deep left center. Bryant on the move. They'll have to play it off the vines. Diaz around third. Relay throw to the plate. He is out. They got it. Big time play. Wow.
The Cubs tossing around the leather in the 9th inning. It remained a 1-run game headed into the bottom of the 9th. Trevor Rosenthal comes out of the Cardinals bullpen looking to nail down the save, but the Cubs would make him work. With 1 down, Albert Almora Jr. launches one deep to right center. That is a stand-up double. The Cubs have the tying run in scoring position. Next man up, pinch hitter Chris Coghlan. And he gets plucked on the first pitch he sees, so the winning run is now on base. The lineup turns over, bringing up Zobrist, but Yadier Molina makes a big play himself after bobbling the pitch. He tosses over to third. You don't steal on Yachty. Almora thought he could go 90 feet, but the 7-time Gold Glove winner catches him being greedy. Later in the at-bat, Zobrist comes up with a single into right field. Coghlan rounds second, moves to third easily, so the tying run now 90 feet away. And with a chance to be a hero against his former team, Jason Hayward with a chance to tie it, but pops up into shallow center. Carpenter gets a hold of it. The rally comes to an end. St. Louis holds on to win a thriller on the north side. They take the opener of the 3-game series by a 3-2 final, and standing by, we go across the studio to our post-game live crew. It's Cap and Holly.
All right, thank you, Layla. So we saw that play in the 9th inning, Albert Almora trying to advance, and Joe Maddon said after the game, hey, man, I'm cool with Albert. I have no problem with aggressiveness. What'd you think? And take us through that play.
Well, it is. I mean, again, when I saw Yadier Molina reach across his body, I told you my first instinct was, before this play even happened, was the ball flight. Now, he's on second base. He sees that. He sees that Yadi's already changing where his body is, and he's having to reach across himself. So, again, you're thinking, okay, I could be on my way if this ball hits the dirt. And it does. So as soon as it happens, you see it. Once he gets to second base here, I think we're going to lead to it in the highlight. You'll see him reach across his body there. To me, that's the trigger. You got to go. What I really do believe ends up happening is that Almora commits to the go. He does. The ball hits the umpire. It's after the play. That's the part that he missed. This wasn't a play where he was waiting. He saw the ball hit the umpire and then decided to take off. He took off as soon as he saw the ball down. So I thought it was a huge play. See right there, it rolls up the umpire's leg. He was already gone. His head's already turned. He doesn't even know probably even what happens until he gets back to the dugout. Surprised that Yadi Molina was able to recover and make a great throw.
Now, should Chris Coughlin have been on second base
That's a tough read, Cap. It's a great question because I think we all thought that. And listening to it during the broadcast, I would have thought the same thing. Why didn't he get to second base? But the rule of thumb is this. As a secondary runner, as the trail runner, you cannot go ahead of the lead runner. It's as simple as that. And if there's a second delay, which you kind of afford yourself at first base, if it's a bang-bang play and you're not the fastest guy, you don't want to be the guy that Yadi Molina is actually going to end up going after, which is also a possibility. If he picks up that baseball, doesn't think he's got a shot at Almora, Coughlin goes and it's on a delay, he's halfway between first and second, then maybe you've got to throw there. You've got to be sure, and you've got to be a little cautious there in the second or in the last innings. But Coughlin's in a position where he can't go any farther than his lead runner.
Right, John Lackey, not spectacular, not really sharp like we've seen him, but as Joe Maddon said, he was just a warrior, and he battled through 6 innings. Quality start. They don't get him enough runs.
He held the deficit, Cap, and that's what this really came.
Managed the deficit.
Yeah, he managed the deficit, and that's a fantastic job. We talk about how good the pitching has been all season long, and in part, sometimes you see it just like this. The Cardinals came out, put some good swings on him, got a couple solo homers, and got themselves a lead. But John Lackey, I thought there was that third, fourth inning. We may not see him through 5. There was, he's kind of walking around the mound. The body language wasn't particularly good. The pitch count was on its way up. He gets himself through 6 innings solid, gives his team an opportunity to win. The Cubs put a couple runs on the board, and you got a 3-2 ball game. So you had a chance to win this game. John Lackey did everything, all things considered, what you saw at the beginning to what you saw at the end. And clearly at the end, he was so much better at the end as he finished up very strong than he was at the beginning of the game.
All right, last thing, we saw a relay play in the 9th inning. Contreras made the tag play. But for me, the best part of that whole play was Chris Bryant reading the ball off the wall. Chris Bryant hitting Addison Russell, the cutoff man, who then made a throw to the plate. Contreras made the tag. I loved seeing fundamental baseball from the Cubs.
For our third baseman who's hanging out in left field occasionally, right?
Correct.
I mean, this is how good this young man's getting. It's impressive stuff. This is coming from a former outfielder. Listen, the way that he put himself into position, he read the ball off the bat. He did a fantastic job of that. That wasn't a ball he was going to catch. He lined himself up for the ricochet off the wall. It comes back to him a little bit towards his right side. It's not a glove exchange. He knows he has to hurry. He goes with the bare hand. He fields it, turns, perfect throw to Addison Russell, perfect throw home to nail the base runner and give yourself a 1-run deficit shot in the 9th inning. Fantastic job. Textbook. I mean, if you were going to write it up any other way, that's exactly what you'd want to see. There isn't an outfielder that could have done it any better.
All right, you have a great night.
That sounds good. Thank you.
All right, let's go back to Layla and Kip.
Well, guys, thanks. Let's take a look at the numbers from the starters tonight as they discuss managing the deficit. John Lackey threw 6 innings, gave up 7 hits, allowed 3 earned runs. His strikeout to walk ratio, you see there, 6 Ks, 3 walks, 2 home runs, though, out of those 3 earned runs, compared to Jaime Garcia going 6 2/3, gave up just 2 earned runs. Both pitchers throwing over 100 pitches each. Now, speaking moments ago at the podium after the game, here is John Lackey.
Better performance, but you had to go through the first 3 and then to do that last 3. How did you mentally get through that?
Yeah, I got no mental problems. So I'm going to get after it regardless. Early on, I definitely wasn't locating quite as well, as I could. They made some adjustments, and we made some adjustments, in between innings that paid off in the end.
How did you find it working with your young pitcher?
He was pretty excited. Yeah, he was. Yeah, the talent's there for sure. Things are going to slow down for him, and it'll get better. It was a good first step, and he was pretty excited.
Have you talked to him after the game or anything about working with him, maybe what you can expect from here on out?
No, that's something we'll do tomorrow.
When you say you made adjustments, is that adjustments for you and Willson, or adjustments just for you?
Their lineup made some adjustments, and then I had to make some back. And if it's something we kind of had to adjust in between innings. It's not something we could do on the fly, which you might be able to do in other situations.
How did you find it working with your young pitcher?
Yeah, he was. He was pretty excited. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was pretty excited. 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 He was
It's like Lackey and the kids tonight. When you look behind you, you got pretty much everybody under 26 or something. Surprising that you guys are that competitive being that young.
I think we're a little better and competitive.
LeBron James makes history delivering a championship that was 52 years in the making for the city of Cleveland. Plus, a pair of former Bulls say there is no debate now as to who is the greatest team of all time. And we'll get the latest on the Jimmy Butler, Derrick Rose rumors when Vincent Goodwill stops by the studio. That's in a few minutes right here on SportsNet Central.
SportsNet Central on Comcast SportsNet is presented to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
This is how precision listens. Bose microphones that hear engine noise, then counter it with a sound-canceling frequency, which helps make the cabin so quiet, you don't miss a thing.
Night, Dad.
Good night, kiddo. It's called active noise cancellation, and it's available in the new, meticulously crafted 2016 Sierra from GMC. This is the precision of professional grade. Now get 15% below MSRP on select GMC Sierra 1500 models in stock. That's nearly $9,000 on this GMC Sierra Denali.
My 5 hour is my motivation.
My 5 hour keeps me cooking.
My 5 hour energizes my workout.
My 5 hour keeps me on the trail.
My 5 hour gets me through finals.
My 5 hour helps me keep up with these guys.
What's your 5 hour?
What's your 5 hour?
What's your 5 hour?
Looking to transform your space with new color? Pull off a better paint job with Scotch Blue's new Platinum Painter's Tape. Easier one-piece removal with no slivering or tearing and ultra-sharp paint lines. With the tape's unique 90-degree tearability, you can directly apply to tight corners, providing protection from paint seepage for beautiful results. Scotch Blue Platinum Painter's Tape offers the durability you're looking for to get the job done and pull off your design vision.
To make it in Chicago, there's one thing you better be ready to do. Step up. Step up to the plate. Step up for your teammates. The Sox and our fans are cast from the same die. We get knocked down, then get back up. We dust ourselves off, tighten up our grip, and dig in. We give no quarter. We give every ounce. We win or die trying. It's time to step up.
It's the Backyard Bash event at American Sale. Right now, get up to 50% off everything you need for your summer fun. Plus, get 0% financing for 4 years. Or take another 10% off our already low sale prices. Lowest prices are always guaranteed and free delivery to Chicagoland. Turn your backyard into a dream backyard. Save big at the Backyard Bash event. Going on now at American Sale. 9 Chicagoland locations. American Sale. Bring the fun home.
It's over! It's over! Cleveland is a city of champions once again! The Cavaliers are NBA champions!
Yeah, it's true. For the first time since 1964, the city of Cleveland finally has a sports team to truly celebrate. LeBron James delivered on his promise to bring his city a championship as the Cavaliers win the NBA title, becoming the first team ever to come back in the finals and win after trailing 3 games to 1. Well, James received the needed contributions from his teammates in the finals. One of those players is shooting guard J.R. Smith, who scored 12 points in Game 7. And like many Cavs players following the game, Smith very emotional and discussed the significance of winning it all on Father's Day.
My dad is easily one of my biggest inspirations to play this game. And to hear people talk bad about me, it hurts me because I know it hurts him. And that's not who I am. And I know he raised better, and I know I want to do better, and just everything I do is for my parents and my family. I mean, I don't really, the cars is nice, the houses is nice, but none of this matters without them. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. I don't know where I would be. Honestly, if it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for the structure and the backbone that I have, I wouldn't be able to mess up and keep coming back and being able to sit in front of you as a world champion.
Well, after After the game, Dennis Rodman tweeted, "Congrats, Cavs, for winning the NBA title. Warriors, you had a great regular season, but the greatest team of all time is the 95-96 Bulls." And Scottie Pippen, to no one's surprise, echoed those sentiments earlier today on Mike and Mike on ESPN Radio.
Can't be considered a great team until you win a championship. And no matter how well you do in the regular season, it has to be capped off with a championship to really mark your legacy in the game. And that's where we see Golden State, had some failure there because they lost their dominance throughout the playoffs. They never brought that dominance that they had throughout the regular season into the playoffs.
Well, time now to welcome our CSN.com Bulls insider, Vincent Goodwill in. And Vinny, you saw Cleveland win the title. Is there anything Gar Forman can do to have the Bulls ready to compete with Cleveland next season?
Next season, I think if you have those type of champagne thoughts, you might be in tears like J.R. Smith was in that clip. I think what the Bulls need, the separation between the Bulls and the Cavs, or better yet, the separation between the Cavs and everybody else in the East is so wide. Can the Bulls compete with the Cavs? Yes, because that speaks to the dearth of talent in the Eastern Conference. But as far as closing the gap and making it a real interesting Eastern Conference final, I don't see the Bulls having the personnel needed to actually challenge LeBron James and Cleveland Cavaliers as long as LeBron stays in Cleveland. Right?
We know the Bulls need help entering next season, but the rumors are still circulating about a trade involving Derrick Rose or Jimmy Butler. Do you think either of those guys will be dealt?
I don't think either of those guys will be dealt, Kip, but I think the closer we get to the draft, the more you're going to hear about Derrick Rose more than Jimmy Butler. I think a lot of what we're hearing about Jimmy Butler is more interest from other teams as far as wanting to poach the Bulls as best player. But if you're the Bulls, you don't have any real incentive for trading Jimmy Butler if you fancy yourself as trying to compete with the Cleveland Cavaliers and Toronto Raptors of the world. Now, Derrick Rose is a different situation because he's on an expiring contract, and you don't know what his long-term plans are going to be or if he fits in the Bulls' long-term plans. So I think his value is a little more definitive before we head toward Thursday's draft, and you're going to hear a lot more between now and then.
The Bulls select 14th in Thursday's draft. What are you expecting them to do on that night?
Kip, I'm honestly thinking that they will draft Denzel Valentine from Michigan State if he's there, but I have a feeling he will not be there. I do think that they will go for a point guard, whether it's Demetrius Jackson from Notre Dame or Wade Baldwin IV from Vanderbilt. I'm thinking they're going to go for an heir apparent for Derrick Rose, or if not one of those guys, I would not be surprised if they drafted another wing to aid Jimmy Butler because they certainly lacked athleticism and shot making on the wings this year. They did not have an extra defender, and I think that's something that they have to look at going down the line.
All right, Vincent Goodwill, as always, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Kip.
Time for our 3M Platinum moment, and we go to the bottom of the ninth in Boston. Tied up at 1, the Red Sox with the bases loaded and 1 out, Christian Vasquez. Grounds 1 to short, Tyler Saladino is coming home with it. Short hops Alex Avila, but check out the stretch by the catcher to keep his foot on the plate for the force out. White Sox go on to win it in extras, 3-1. This was a weird game. Rockies and Marlins in Miami. And the story was the long ball. All 8 runs were scored via solo home runs. That is a major league record. The previous mark was 5. Both Giancarlo Stanton and Trevor Story went yard. Mark Reynolds had 2 home runs for the Rockies, including one in the 6th, to give Colorado the lead. And then Charlie Blackmon put the game away with this shot in the 9th, his 8th of the season. So how many times did they fire up that weird dolphin thing?
I don't know. We need to check on that.
We do. I think you should do it every time. The Rockies beat the Marlins in a fireworks show, 5-3.
Still to come, the Blackhawks will be facing a very familiar foe to open the season. We'll have the details when SportsNet Central returns.
There's a sound a ball makes when it catches nothing but net. Everyone loves that sound, that precision. At GMC, we get that. Nothing separates the men from the boys like nothing but net. This is the precision of professional grade. Now get this low-mileage lease on this 2016 Acadia for around $279 per month. GMC, we are professional grade.
Brett Laurie. Number 15, your second baseman, bringing an all-out effort to every single game. White Sox, Red Sox, tomorrow at 6 on CSN. Dare to see Blue Man Group tonight at Briar Street Theater.
Summer's here, and we're celebrating the grand opening of another Great Escape Superstore, where you save on the area's largest selection of pools, hot tubs, and more. Save $1,000 on family-size above-ground pool packages. Includes installation in your backyard. Save up to $3,000 on a relaxing hot tub. And right now, save an additional $1,000 on our entire stock of jacuzzi hot tubs, the #1 name in spas. Happy summer and happy grand opening from the Great Escape.
Escape your everyday. Shop the Great Escape.
Some things are simply impossible to ignore. The strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid, the SUV that dares to go beyond utility. Lease the 2016 NX Turbo with 0 due at signing for $409 a month for 36 months. See your Lexus dealer.
Welcome to Wrigley Field.
Arrieta's cruising along. Swing and a miss. And it is gone. We're tied. Whistle gets on the top. He makes a catch. Call strike 3. Jake Arrieta, a 20-game winner. Deep left, way back. It is gone. A 3-run homer. Cubs win. Cubs win. Cubs win. In front, Kane, around a check to the backhand. He tried a shot. Oh, and it hit out the rebound. The Hawks win. Hawks win. Patrick Kane. Open net, Brower, and he hit the post and he scored. The Blues finally able to break through. Now the defending Stanley Cup champions season has ended.
Hockey season may seem a long ways away, but we know which team the Blackhawks will play first. The season and home opener was announced by the NHL. The Hawks will welcome the St. Louis Blues to the United Center on October 12th. So the two teams, they don't have to wait to renew their old rivalry.
Well, our GMC professional grade player is Cubs rookie Willson Contreras, who made his first big league start tonight. A productive night for the rookie, who drove in a run, threw out a runner who was trying to steal in the ninth, and made a great tag at the plate to end the Cardinals' ninth. However, the Cubs couldn't push the tying run across and fall 3-2 to St. Louis.
I've got something for you, Layla. Time now for our great clip of the week. Here it is. It's a good one. Oh, you're going to love this. In honor of Father's Day yesterday, we give it to this dad who made a great one-handed catch.
Oh, my.
I don't know if I like this, but whatever. He one-handed catch of this foul ball, holding his daughter in a tray of hot dogs in the other hand. Daughter doesn't even seem to notice, doesn't really care, not interested. Apparently the food's fine as well.
It's a Phillies game. They know what to do.
Just don't drop the kid, please.
They didn't. Plays of the day, Pirates, Giants. Number 3 on the foul ball. How about the ball girl making a great
Oh, that's
catch?
Beautiful.
A great barehanded snag on the play.
Oh, great form.
Concentration.
Chris
Pirates
Bryant-like.
beat the Giants 1-0.
Number 2, D-backs Phillies. Cesar Hernandez hits one to shallow center, but check out my main man. Socrates Brito makes the great catch. Terrific diving stop by the outfielder. Diamondbacks win 3-1.
If we had a names of the day, Socrates Brito, number 1. Number 1 play, Cubs and Cardinals. Jed Jerko doubles to left. Aledmys Diaz tries to score from first. Chris Bryant Fields throws to Addison Russell, who throws to Willson Contreras, applies the tag. No run goes across, but the Cubs fall to the Cardinals 3-2.
You know what I would say if I ever met Socrates Brito? I'd say sock it to him.
Oh, my.
This has been SportsNet Central, presented by GMC. That's it for us.
We're just going to leave you looking at Kip some more, like how the
extra face time. That's what they call it.
This is what precision looks like, helping you see what's hard to see, thanks to Terrain Denali's Side Blind Zone Alert that uses radar to watch your blind spots. So it's true. Mom does have eyes in the back of her head. The new, meticulously crafted 2016 Terrain Denali from GMC. This is the precision of professional grade. Or get this low-mileage lease on this 2016 Terrain SLE1 for around $199 per month for 24 months. GMC, we are professional grade.
The 4,000 ASE certified technicians at Firestone Complete Auto Care prove a tool's only as good as the hands behind it. Right now, purchase a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires and get a $60 Firestone Visa prepaid card by mail. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
Thursday at 6 p.m. Come out and enjoy great baseball as CSN Chicago's Kelly Kroll hosts a Coors Light viewing party at Hits Pizza on Mundelein. Watch Chicago take the field against Miami and enjoy ice-cold Coors Light. Great beer equals great responsibility.
Listen up, America. This message is for everyone eligible for Medicare. We have some important benefits information that may be useful for you. If you have Medicare Part A, Part B, or any Medicare Advantage plan, you may be eligible to preventive services with no copays and no deductibles. You heard that right. 0 copays and 0 deductibles. You may also be eligible for full dental, vision, and prescription coverage. These benefits can make a huge difference in your overall health. Listen up, America. Call the number on your screen now to review your Medicare plan options. Medicare plans often include dental, vision, and prescription coverage. Friendly licensed insurance agents are standing by now with free information. There's no obligation, and the call is free. Listen up, America. Call now. You deserve every Medicare plan coverage benefit out there. We'll help you get them.
Please call 800-531-5892. That is 800-531-5892.
We now join the following program already in progress.
Look who is happy today. Scott Rabb joins us. How are you, Scott?
Good morning, Dan. I'm great. That misery stuff, we're done.
It's over.
It's over.
Yep.
Done. Yep.
Was that the greatest night of your life?
It was exactly that. Father's Day with my son in Cleveland, Ohio. Watching LeBron and the Cavaliers end a 52-year drought. I'm not sure anything's in second place anymore.
How would you describe your emotions and those around you going into Game 7?
Well, going into Game 7, and when it comes to emotions, I speak only for me. It was really hard to summon anything resembling confidence. It maybe says more about me than Cleveland or certainly about the Cavaliers, but history's history. Vegas is Vegas, and I'd be lying if I told you I thought tonight was going to end the way it did. I did not know. I did not feel confident.
Did ESPN film the ending there and the reaction of Cleveland fans and
yes, sir.
Are you going to add it to the Believe Land documentary?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I mean, it was again the longest of shots, but it happened, and ESPN Films was there, and you're exactly right. And knowing the mothership, that thing will be done by 2. I don't know. I mean, it was awesome. It really was. You don't want to turn. The more superlatives you use, the less credibility. But you talk about miracles, yes, sir. Yeah, there will be an epilogue to Believe Land.
What about emotions after you realized you'd won a championship?
I cry at the drop of anything. I mean, a lifetime of Cleveland sports fanhood has prepared me for defeat, but also for sadness that comes with it. The overwhelming emotion, the joy. I mean, again, it all sounds like a greeting card, but it transcended all of the sadness in a way that moved me, beyond tears. And there was one large guy, I'd say 6'6", 300, 350 pounds, who I was worried for my lower back. I'm 63 years old, but I'm saying men were literally hugging each other and weeping. And again, it's sports. It's only sports. It's not really, it was everything I ever could have dreamed of and more. It was awesome.
I did hear this last night. If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, are you celebrating this championship the same way?
Well, I don't know too many either-or fans. It's certainly a football town, but
you've had so much heartache with football. Does this?
I'm telling you, it's over for me. I can only speak for me, but I was 12 years old when the Browns won, and I loved the Browns. Part of it for me, by the way, is the fact the NFL let them leave. Art Modell, I will always, the internally condemned for me. But the NFL let that happen. The only votes to keep the Browns in Cleveland were from the Rooney family and Willson in Buffalo. And I'll never not love them for that. But, the NFL was dead to me, and these new Browns have been nothing but a disgrace. So for anyone in Cleveland who's holding out somehow, it still feels they get to whine about the drive or Art Modell. Those are footnotes now to me. Those are footnotes.
He's Scott Rabb, the Cleveland fan, author, writer. He was the producer for the 30 for 30 documentary Believe Land. You did write The Whore of Akron. Will there now be a sequel?
Yes, sir. And we've got the perfect title too.
And that is?
You're welcome, Cleveland.
Will LeBron take part in this book?
Oh, that's doubtful. I sold my soul to the devil. I really did. I mean, but that's the weird thing. When I think about it, I condemned a young man to hell for the crime of making a decision he felt was in his best interest, professionally and personally. I for the crime of not being Moses and leading my tribe to the promised land, I consigned him to hell. Then he comes back and not just comes back, but says, I'm Moses. I feel a mission. I mean, am I embarrassed and ashamed? I won't deny there's some of that, but you're welcome, Cleveland. I don't know.
LeBron's spot in Cleveland sports history is what now?
Well, Jim Brown and LeBron, and I would have to go back, before my time. There's the 48 Indians with Lou Boudreau and Satchel Paige. There's some great moments, and I know that because there were so few. But LeBron, if there's a Rushmore, there's only Jim Brown and LeBron James and maybe Jesse Owens, who was, again, one of the greatest athletes Northeast Ohio ever produced. But seriously, LeBron forever. And not to broaden the question to ridiculousness, but as I've heard over and over again from a lot of people, the legacy there, I think, is also, again, as hypocritical as it sounds for a guy who wrote the Whore of Akron. I never denied in that book or ever. This was the greatest basketball. I'm not going to say Michael wasn't the greatest NBA player of all time. I'm just saying for the range of skills, for the ability to dominate, to do what we've seen him do. Whether you're an analytics guy, whether you're an eyeball guy, I don't know what more this guy has to do to prove that he belongs in the conversation. Even anyone who places Kobe ahead of him because of counting the rings, there's no argument I can make there to convince that person. But, for me, as a Cleveland guy, I grew up in Cleveland. He's from Northeast Ohio. There's no question. Him and Jim Brown.
If LeBron does not finish his NBA career in Cleveland, finish that sentence.
I'm good. If he had left for Miami and having won a ring for Cleveland, I certainly no one would have wrote a book like mine. We would have had a tear in our eye, but we would have had nothing but love in our hearts. Speaking for me, if he decides to leave, he has done something miraculous. I'm saying, considering the opposition. Considering the 3-1 hold to the 73-9, my goodness, that guy gets to do whatever he wants.
Stay in touch. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
That's Scott Rabb.
ここにチタンウルトラボット5000がございます。
ジミー・ジョーンズ早く来てくれ。最高だ。
ジミー・ジョーンズこれ早い。
Jimmy John's, freaky fresh, freaky fast.
My experience with USAA is awesome. Homeowners insurance, life insurance, automobile insurance. I spent 20 years active duty. They still refer to me as gunnery sergeant when I call. Being a USAA member, because of my service in the military, to pass that on to my kids, something that makes me happy. My name is Roger Zapata, and I'm a USAA member for life.
USAA. We know what it means to serve. Get an insurance quote and see why 92% of our members plan to stay for.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema.
How do we explain God to his own son?
This path that he's on, I don't know where it leads.
You're invited to discover.
Am I dangerous?
No, but others are.
The life of Christ.
He will deliver us.
Like you've never seen it before.
Keep your power inside you until your Father in heaven shows you the time to use it.
He's just a child. He is not just a child.
The Young Messiah. Now playing on DirecTV Cinema. Movie star to Channel 125.
The staff was warm and friendly.
The sessions with all the Advanced Urology Associates professionals were inspiring and motivating.
I would recommend this facility to all cancer victims.
If you or a loved one is affected by prostate cancer, the Prostate Cancer Center at Advanced Urology Associates can help, specializing in only prostate cancer treatment. And our results, well, they speak for themselves. Call today for a consultation in one of our 3 state-of-the-art facilities. Advanced Urology Associates. Safe, simple, and effective.
I love working here because of the environment. I love the staff. I love the manager.
My favorite thing about Tilted Kilt Schaumburg is the awesome people that I get to see every day.
The food is great, and we have a huge selection of craft beer.
From milk stouts to IPAs.
At Tilted Kilt Schaumburg, we're one big family. I love working here.
I love special events, especially UFC nights.
It's the best place to watch Chicago sports.
I'm not gonna lie, I love the costume.
Me too, it's fun. Tilted Kilt Schaumburg.
A cold beer never looks so good.
Frank Kaminsky, our guest analyst for the NBA Finals and, of course, Game of Thrones, the Charlotte Hornets forward joining us on the program. Frank, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing spectacular. Did you watch the Finals last night?
I did. I did indeed.
And your thoughts?
I thought that last night proved how great LeBron has been throughout his entire career, and I think that was a culminating point for him and his team, and the team he said he was going to win a title for.
You faced the Cavs 4 times, the Warriors 2 times. I guess, can you put into words what it's like to face both of these teams?
It's crazy. I was able to see different sides of both teams. I think when we played Golden State at home, it was a pretty tight game. Then Steph had like 27 in the third quarter and didn't even play in the fourth, and they blew us out. When we played the Cavs, we had some tight games. We won one of the games. And then other games, they really just took over. So you got to see different aspects of both teams, and it's just so cool that I get to play against some of the best basketball players in the world.
Have you covered LeBron?
I did a couple times. I'm going to be completely honest. The first time it happened, I was really nervous. But after that, got more comfortable.
What happened when you guarded him?
I just tried to make him shoot jump shots. You see how well it goes for him when he's attacking the rim. And you can see how far he can take his team when he's making his jump shots like he did the last 3 games. So, he really put it together in the finals.
What's that like, though, as big as he is? Because I'm sure there aren't many other players you can compare to that style and that ability and agility that LeBron has.
Some of the plays he made last night just proves, how big of a physical freak he is. That blocking transition on Iguodala was insane. I think if he would have made that dunk at the end of the game on Draymond, I think that would have been one of the greatest dunks in NBA history. Just given time and situation. And I think he just really proved, how great of a basketball player and how great of an athlete he is in this series.
He's Frank Kaminsky, the Hornets forward, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. What was more tense for you, the final moments of the finals or Game of Thrones last night?
I was much more amped for Game of Thrones, and it wasn't even close.
Okay. How big is this show amongst players in the locker room?
I mean, there's a handful of people that watch it. There's a lot of staff that watches it too. I try to have as many conversations as I possibly can about it with anyone who wants to talk to me about it, because I have so many theories and so many things that I see and I like to point out. But then there's just some people who just don't like the show at all. So, which I call them stupid, because I think it's the best show of all time.
Is there a character who is in Game of Thrones who would be LeBron?
Yeah, I'd say Jon Snow probably. That's probably a good comparison. I mean, Jon Snow doesn't get the hate that LeBron does, but, I mean, I think they're comparable.
Well, both came back from the dead.
Yeah, that's true. And for not being as loved as, other people were, they proved themselves to be great.
What, McLovin?
Okay, since I have Frank, every time he's been on, I've asked him one question, and I'm going to ask him again. Who do you think Jon Snow's father is? Leave it there.
Rhaegar Targaryen.
Bingo.
Wait, who is that? Is that Peter Dinklage?
It's too complicated.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never seen an episode, Frank, so I know that there's somebody...
You're making a big mistake.
Yeah, I have other things to watch, Frank. But I can start now. I mean, it's just don't be this Game of Thrones snob there. I'll eventually get around to it. Is Steph Curry Khaleesi?
I don't know, because I mean, I love Khaleesi, but she hasn't really done much yet. So, and Steph has accomplished a lot. So that's a tough comparison.
Okay, all right. That's the only other character I know. I know Jon Snow and Khaleesi. I don't even know Peter Dinklage's character there. That's all I know.
Yeah.
But I'll get around to it, Frank.
Those are the three main ones, pretty much.
Yeah, I'll get around to it one. It took me 10 years to watch Breaking Bad, Frank, so it's going to take me a little while.
Yeah, see, but I have so much time to do nothing, so this is what I do in my free time.
All right, if I said you could have a cameo in Game of Thrones, a speaking role in Game of Thrones, or make the All-Star team?
I don't know. That's tough.
I think you just answered it, Frank. There are a lot of guys on the All-Star team.
I got to go All-Star game. But, see, there will be plenty of years for me to have the opportunity to make an All-Star team. Game of Thrones has an expiration date, and I think it's going to be within the next couple of years. So to be in that show would be unbelievable in my eyes.
Even if you died?
Even if I have one line and I get shot or hit with an arrow and just die, that would be fine with me. Even if just my face is in it, I'd be an extra.
We'll work on that, Frank.
That would be unbelievable.
Hey, enjoy the off season. Great to talk to you again. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, good to talk to you too. Take care.
That's Frank Kaminsky right there. Hornets forward.
Fans, unable to watch every second of your favorite team? Don't worry. CSN has you covered with in-game live. Get real-time game updates, including hit trackers, box scores, and pitch-by-pitch results on CSNChicago.com. Presented by State Farm.
Second City? This is our city. The best city in the world. In Chicago, the road to success is paved with tenacity and sweat. Work isn't a four-letter word. It's a badge of honor. One that's been worn proudly on White Sox uniforms over the years by legends from all backgrounds and nationalities, united with their teammates and united with the fans by a bond of hard work and passion for the game. It's time to step up.
Do you want to nail down a great deal on a new car? Get the Gurney Hyundai. We specialize in constructing huge savings.
Get these huge savings right now at Gurney Hyundai when you lease a brand new 2016 Hyundai Elantra for only $79 a month.
Be sure to see us before you buy.
Bob Rohrman.
Bob Rohrman's Gurney Hyundai on Grand Avenue, right across from Gurney Mills.
My 5-hour is my morning wake-up call.
My 5-hour makes me super dad.
My 5-hour keeps me on my toes.
My 5 hour is all business.
My 5-hour keeps me working.
My 5-hour energizes my ride.
My 5-hour gets me up and out the door.
What's your 5-hour?
What's your 5-hour?
What's your 5-hour?
Brett Laurie, number 15. Your second baseman. Bringing an all-out effort to every single game. White Sox, Red Sox. Tomorrow at 6 on CSN.
In 2000, I was a 15-year-old boy.
Michael Phelps, the youngest U.S. male swimmer in 68 years. Michael Phelps is first Olympic medal. It's going to be gold. History in Beijing for Michael Phelps. Number 19. No one has one more.
2016, my first child potentially has the chance to watch me swim. Wow, it's pretty crazy.
Okay, that didn't go well, but I'm still so darn happy about the Game of Thrones stuff. And you let me have a, you know it's a special day when I can ask 2 Game of Thrones questions. That's probably it for the year, though.
Usually it's 1, but you got 2.
Yeah, that was a good moment. Do I consider Frank Kaminsky a friend? Yes. A Game of Thrones friend. Dan let me jump in there, ask a couple questions. Now, people are yelling at me for being a spoiler because I asked him a Game of Thrones theory question. People are saying I spoiled on something that hasn't even happened yet. People got to relax about spoilers. I get so much heat about it. Come on, if you didn't watch Game of Thrones last night, I know the NBA Finals were on, then you're not a real Game of Thrones fan. So what are you so upset about at me for spoiling? And I didn't even give away anything. I'm not going to give away anything now. But come on. I know it's the Battle of the Bastards. You had to watch. Do not read anything. If you don't read at least 3 articles a week on Game of Thrones, you're not a fan, and I don't want any part of you. So just stop it. Paulie said that he watched the battle scene and went on too long last night. He has no right to say that because he's not a Game of Thrones fan. He happens to be right. But, and that's not a spoiler. You know what? I'm going to get out of here because I do not want to get yelled at for spoiling. Hey, guys.
Hey.
What is that?
Uh-oh.
Oh, hey, guys. No, I just like doing that. I talked about Game of Thrones in there, but I know that I could get everyone paranoid.
You don't like that shit?
This one is over. Believe it, Cleveland. Savor it. Soak it in. The kid from Akron has come home. The Cavaliers are NBA champions, and the impossible dream has come true. The drought is over. The curse destroyed. 52 years of torment and anguish has been washed away. The greatest comeback in NBA Finals history is complete.
It's not too big and it's not too small.
Chevrolet's crossovers come in 3 sizes: Trax, Equinox, and Traverse.
Who wants to sit in it?
I do.
Shotgun.
Oh, wow.
This car matches me. I like this.
It's a perfect fit.
Get more than you expect for less than you imagine from the Chevrolet crossover family.
Qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 60 months on this 2016 Chevy Equinox. Plus, find your tag to get an extra $2,250 cash allowance on select Equinox in stock.
Desátame de una vez. ¿Dónde has estado? Te he estado esperando por más de una hora. Al menos me hubieras llamado.
Jimmy Jones.
Se están comportando como monios.
Jimmy
Estoy
Jones,
enloqueciendo.
ayúdame, por favor.
¿Cómo quieres que consiga solo? ¡Jimmy Jones!
Jimmy John's, freaky fresh, freaky fast.
Max, I'll see you tonight.
This summer, discover the secret life of pets.
Hey, fellas, how's it going? Hey, fellas, how's it going?
The secret life of pets.
Hey, fellas.
Rated PG.
Best and worst of the weekend. Paulie, I'll start with you.
Best. Kevin Love's first half last night. It seemed like he set the tone. I can't think of a player who needed to have a bigger game on national TV more than he did last night. I don't know if this is worst or best, but the funniest. LeBron James, after the game, said multiple times, I cannot wait to get home to Cleveland, celebrate with my people. I just can't wait to get home. I can't wait to get home. So much so that he rented a plane and took the whole team to Vegas. Awesome. Hey, got to stop at Vegas before I go back to Cleveland.
Do you think the whole time he was in Vegas, he said, I have to get back home to Cleveland. Yeah. Can't wait to get back home to Cleveland.
One more day in Vegas.
Yeah. Fritzy.
My best of the weekend, I'm going to go off the board. I got a special Father's Day card from my daughter, Lindsay, which included the lines, you always put a smile on my face, even when I'm in a mood. And the first day you held me as a baby and I peeked my little eye open, I knew I would live a pretty good life with an awesome mom and dad. So that got me pretty emotional with the personalized card that she put together. My worst of the weekend was USGA's handling of Dustin Johnson's eventual one-stroke penalty.
So we're crappy fathers because we didn't elicit a card like that from our kids.
I did not say that.
No, it feels like you want to say.
Very loving time.
Do you really think your daughter, when she first opened her eyes and saw you, like she remembers that?
Definitely not.
Okay.
But I thought that was really cute that she would think that she could remember something like that and that she got a little dramatic with the card like that.
Yeah. I didn't get a card like that.
Kid's kind of a liar, I think. She made up a story.
A little braggadocious,
a little
too.
Hyperbole here. There's an issue there. But congrats, Tom.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats.
I appreciate that.
McLevin, do you have a bad Father's Day? Or good one?
Comparatively, I thought it was a good one. Now I hear about Todd's daughter's love for him.
Yeah, great.
I had a bad Father's Day. I ended up taking the kids to a museum without my wife.
Wait, how does that happen?
I don't know.
It's on Mother's Day.
Yeah, I know. It was a fun time, but didn't get any free time. But my best and worst, and I don't know if this is best or worst, part 5 of the OJ documentary, and you mentioned it this morning, when OJ is committing the crime that landed him in jail. They're going to rob a room, and they're wandering around the entire casino on film trying to find the room because it's room 1207, but it's actually on the first floor. The footage of that, it's sad, but it was hysterical. My worst, how come no one's ripping Shane Lowry? I said this is the year that Shane Lowry wins the U.S. Open, and he blew it.
You're right. You were the first to say that.
Actually, my worst is there's always someone in the U.S. Open I've literally never heard of until the U.S. Open, and Shane Lowry was this year's guy.
But I couldn't rip anybody playing on that course if you didn't play well on Sunday, because that course is so hard. That you saw some of these guys who put up good numbers, and I went, man, good for you. Because it can make a great golfer average. So, did Shane Lowry gack a little bit? Yeah, I guess. But on that course, you could have a 4-shot lead, and all of a sudden you got a 2-shot lead, so then you don't have a lead. It'll take your knees out from you. Seton O'Connor, best and worst.
My best, Amon Shumpert and how he wears his hair in that sort of like front ponytail kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
I always assumed that was just when he was playing to keep his hair out of his eyes or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then I'm watching all this footage from Vegas where they're partying, and his hair's still like that. He just wears his hair that way.
Yeah.
How about that?
Do you like that?
I think I do now.
Do you have to be of a certain talent to be able to wear your hair that way? Like Antonio Brown has the Lego haircut, but it's Antonio Brown. Amon Shumpert is Iman Shumpert.
Yeah, but I don't know that I've ever seen anybody wear that kind of front ponytail.
I don't think it's going to catch on, so he might be the only guy you ever see.
He's just going to own it.
Yeah,
I love it.
And congrats to him.
You know, and when I see him on the court, I'm like, oh, man, that stinks that he's got to do that to his hair. But, hey, I guess you got to do that. And then you see him out at the club party, and you're like, whoa, that guy's got the coolest haircut ever. My worst of the weekend, USGA and the whole Dustin Johnson thing. You got to figure that out.
Can you do it in real time here to help the guy out? How long does it take to look and decide this? That ball move? Yes, it did. Then issue a one-stroke penalty. But the fact that those greens are so fast, and if you put the ball down, and if there's any wind, if you just put your putter down, like just a fraction, you saw what happens with some of those shots that go right up to the hole and then right off the green. Yeah, Paul.
So if Dustin Johnson would have won by one stroke, let's say he bogeyed, double bogeyed, they would have made the decision and had to put him back on the course in a playoff after the fact.
Well, he would have known.
He would have known?
Yeah, he knew.
He knew going into the...
They told him at the 12th hole. From the 5th hole to the 12th hole, he had no idea what was going on.
Okay.
And I think that's when even when Joe Buck was announcing it, he said, well, we're not quite sure. He's got a 3-shot lead, but we're not quite sure. Like, you come up to him to say on the 12th hole, hey, we're going to be looking at this. Can't you just... Modern technology? That you would be able to say, we've assessed this? Is there only one guy who could make this ruling?
Could he have just sent Paulina Gretzky in to talk to the rules official? He would have gotten 4 strokes in his favor.
Yeah.
She would have talked to him. It's over, Johnny.
Hi. Yes, Fritzy.
Did they tell the other golfers? They certainly didn't tell the audience, because when it all ended and he won, they basically went off the air saying, we're not sure how many strokes he won by. So they still didn't know.
It's embarrassing. It really is. But it's not fair to him or anybody else in the field. Now, it didn't come down to somebody had a chance and they would have played differently. But, man, I guess there was only one guy on the course, and he was on the course. They had to bring him in and say, all right, Jimmy, you got to look at this, and what do you think? I don't know if that was his name, but so then he looks at it, and then you're going, what are you going to, just either assess a penalty or not? I don't know. Let's look. Do we have any other angles here? I looked at it. So I'm assuming that's the same video that they're looking at. Ball moved. Even though he, probably says, I didn't have anything to do with it, you still assess him a penalty. Then we move on with it. Take a break. This is the Dan Patrick Show.
Get great customer service, outstanding selection, and fantastic deals at Oakbrook Toyota. Now, I know you can dig that.
Lease a brand new 2016 Toyota Corolla with 0 down payment, 0 first payment, 0 security deposit, 0 due-it inception, and only $199 a month.
Bob Rohrman. Bob Rohrman's Oakbrook Toyota in Westmont, only 5 minutes west of the Tri-State on Ogden Avenue.
If Buster Posey wanted to save money...
Hey, Lenny. Hey, Buster. Got my toothbrush.
He wouldn't live out of his locker.
What are you doing?
Doing my socks. He'd save money with Esurance. Because Buster's a smart person, and smart people get Esurance. Official sponsor of Major League Baseball.
From the first building block to the last coat of paint, Menards is here to help. Get an 11% rebate on everything in the store, even sale prices. Get a great night's sleep and save 11% on all Serta mattresses. Now's the time to update your floors and save 11% on all flooring, including laminate flooring from Tarkett. Save big money and get an 11% rebate on everything, even sale prices. Now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Welcome back to SportsCenter. I'm Scott Van Pelt. Time now for the best available video, which comes to us tonight from...
The future of boating is now, and it's only available from Yamaha, the #1 brand on the water. See your local Yamaha watercraft dealer.
In my grocery store, you never know what's around the corner. It's not just about the groceries, it's about the game. And there's always a twist. Sorry, this one's called 5 Items or Less.
Stop working! Woo. All new, Sunday night at 8, Guys Grocery Games on Food Network.
Brought to you locally by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Start planning your family's summer getaway today at wisdells.com.
Make way for the Hall of Famer, Turner Sports NBA analyst, Reggie Miller. Reg, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Theodore. How are you doing?
I'm great. Why did you hold out hope that Cleveland could win when Golden State had a 7-point lead at halftime and Cleveland was shooting so poorly from three-point range?
Just because of that. They shot so bad from three. LeBron was not in attack mode yet, and yet you're still down by 7 points. And I knew that Golden State was going to have a cushion going into the fourth, which they did not, because Cleveland and Kyrie and the start of that third, J.R. Smith, did a great job of grabbing momentum. And you and I talked about this last week, even though that they were up 3-1, and LeBron said this in the postgame, I watched a lot of film, and I changed the blueprint. They figured out that they had two best players in this series, and they knew all along that the weakest link defensively was going to be Steph.
It was weird how you're waiting for Golden State to sort of be Golden State, but then I don't know if they have an aggressive gear. They have that little, sort of higher octane gear. I guess there was a difference. It felt like Cleveland was going after everything. Kevin Love got into it. They just felt like every possession was precious to them, and I didn't feel that way with Golden State.
Well, Dan, you just can't point to last night. They were the aggressor Game 5, Game 6, and Game 7.
Yeah.
And let's give a lot of credit. The best player in the series, no question, and he got the MVP, was LeBron James. But if there could have been a co-MVP, Kyrie Irving, the pressure that he put on Steph, he was the second best player in the series. But to me, the guy that kind of goes unsung in this was Tristan Thompson at both ends of the floor, keeping balls alive in possessions for them. But I tweeted this out as you talking about running commentary. They would switch Tristan Thompson on Steph, and he took him out of the play. He didn't. It was like a box in one. And to have your center guard the two-time MVP on switch-outs and basically take him out of the offense was remarkable. And that was a great adjustment by Coach Lou and that coaching staff of, we are going to trust you. You'll be able to move your feet, and if he gets by you, we'll give help.
He's Reggie Miller, NBA on TNT analyst, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Jay Williams, who played in the league, former Dookie, he tweeted out that he thinks LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. What does he mean by that?
Well, I mean, anytime you bring in Michael Jordan, and especially with LeBron James, you're going to have a firestorm because you have so many loyalists to both of these guys. And I'm ready to come on your show because we had this conversation, I believe, the last time you and the Danettes were in L.A. for that one of the L.A. shows, and we talked about our starting fives. Who would be our all-time starting five? And we got into the Larry Bird versus LeBron James, the small forward position. Right now I have Michael, Magic, Larry, Hakeem, and Kareem. Those were my starting five of all time. Today, and you know how much I love Larry Joe. You know how much I patterned my game after Larry Joe, right? You know, he was my coach in Indiana. I would do anything for Larry Joe.
But
I've got to let it go, Dan. I've got to let it go. I really do have. What he did for Cleveland and that city and that state and that team, I've got to let it go. He is in my top five. Now, he'll never get ahead of Michael, and he'll never get ahead of Magic, and he'll probably never get ahead of a Kareem. But everyone else, he's the fourth best player. He's the fourth best player. Now, special consideration to Tim Duncan, special consideration to Kobe, but LeBron is. I have to let it go.
But
Larry Joe, I love you, but I've got to let it go, Dan.
But why can't LeBron be recognized as better than Jordan when it's all said and done?
6 for 6. Six rings.
That's it?
6 times there, 6 times I won, and 6 times I was Finals MVP.
Is he a better all-around player than Jordan? Maybe that's what Jay Williams is saying here.
Oh, man. That black cat could get it done at the defensive end, too.
Oh, but not the way LeBron does. I mean, that block on Iguodala last night was...
Look, it brought back. Look, I'm sitting on the couch, and I thought Tayshaun Prince was in my living room. I really did. I'm like, where did you come from? And, look, he changes the game, obviously, at both ends. But so did MJ. Now, this is the one I can't let that one go. 6 times I went, 6 times I won, and oh, by the way, 6 times I was Finals MVP. And as great as LeBron is, in some of these finals, he has disappeared. He's great. Don't get me wrong. What did I just proclaim?
Yeah.
That he's on my top 5, but there's been some finals that he's disappeared. Can you ever say that about number 23, that black cat in Chicago? Did he ever disappear in any of his finals?
He had a couple of bad games, but I don't know if that's considered disappearing.
Well, of course you're going to have a couple bad games.
Yeah. But if we're choosing sides, LeBron and Michael right now.
Would Michael ever get swept in a finals game?
No.
Did LeBron get swept in a finals game before?
Yeah.
Yes. San Antonio.
Well, but Reg.
Are you asking me? Well, here's the difference.
I know, but you got to be fair to LeBron. That's the worst team that ever went to the finals. That supporting cast with LeBron?
Which is why he has surpassed, in my opinion, and it pains me to say this because I patterned my game after Larry Joe. It pains me to say this. Trust me, you know how much I love Larry Bird. Come on now. It hurts to the core for me to admit that LeBron now is on my top 5.
All right. Hey, thanks as always, Reg.
Hey, it's been a great year. I love coming on this every Monday or Tuesday and shooting the breeze with you, Theodore, my Danettes. This is great. This is just great.
I was taking a shower after a workout at Soul Cycle, and a guy was taking a shower, and he came up to me, and it's always awkward with 2 men when they're naked. And he says to me, hey, I'm from San Francisco. I saw your guy, Reggie Miller, on the street, and I told him I loved when he came on the show. And I go, okay, well, thank you. So
did you tell him to kind of like towel up a little bit?
No, he wanted to give me dap. I said, no, you're not giving me dap. Did you have teammates who walked around naked all the time?
Well, in the locker room, that's your sanctuary. So there was guys walking all the time naked everywhere.
But even when there's people in there fully clothed, they're walking around naked. Did you have that?
Yes.
Who do you want to?
Again, the only people that are back there or should be back there are team, like your trainers, your doctors. Now, when the media's in there, I bought robes for everyone because we weren't going to be that team. We weren't going to be disrespectful to the media. So people robe up. Robe up.
Who was the one that you had a hard time getting a robe on?
Oh, you're not getting me, Theodore.
Darn it.
You're not getting me on
I
that
thought
one,
you
There was a few guys that just like to let them hang. Just like to let it hang.
That damn Rick Schmitz. The Dunking Dutchman.
They didn't call him the Dunking Dutchman for nothing.
Thanks, Reg.
You're the best.
All right, brother. That's Reggie Miller, NBA on TNT.
CSN Chicago is giving you the chance to go behind the scenes with Kelly Crawl, presented by Coors Light. Tour the production truck, go on the field with Kelly, and much more. Enter for your chance to win at csnchicago.com/Coors Light.
The city of Chicago emerged from the ashes, literally, and rose to greatness. And in those fires, a certain toughness, honesty, and work ethic was forged. A straightforward, what you see is what you get attitude. There's no pretense. There's no gray area. There's only black and white. It's time to take the field. It's time to play some ball. It's time to step up.
Hey, Ralph Punzel.
Oh, hey, Ronnie.
Where are you headed?
Great Clips.
You're getting a haircut?
I checked in already. He's in their online check-in.
I'm dying to check.
It saves you time.
You're getting a haircut.
Why?
Thinking about applying to astronaut school.
That's cool.
Okay, I'll see you, Ronnie.
Save time every time. Download the online check-in app today. Great clips. It's going to be great.
There are 2 seasons in Chicagoland, winter and road construction. But at Schaumburg Kia, there's only one season, savings.
Make no payments until November 2016 with Schaumburg Kia's Summers on Us sales event, or lease a 2017 Sportage for just $239 a month.
Bob Rohrman. Bob Rohrman, Schaumburg Kia, just west of the Woodfield Mall on Gulf Road, Schaumburg.
Hi, I'm Jake Arrieta, and you're watching the home for Cubs baseball, CSN Chicago, presented by State Farm.
In 2000, I was a 15-year-old boy.
Michael Phelps, the youngest U.S. male swimmer in 68 years. Michael Phelps is first Olympic medal. It's going to be gold. History in Beijing for Michael Phelps. Number 19. No one has one more.
2016, my first child potentially has the chance to watch me swim. Like, wow, it's pretty crazy.
David Faraday in studio tomorrow?
Sure is.
Oh, nice. Nice. David Faraday. What, is he just driving through?
He's just driving through to come hang with us in the man cave. He'll make fun of our golf swings on the simulator and whatever else we want to talk
David
about.
Faraday will join us.
Well,
great. Glenn in Ohio. Glenn, thanks for holding. What do you have for me?
Yeah, I heard you mention earlier about how Browns fans should feel about the Cavaliers winning the championship.
Yes.
As a Browns fan, I'm still looking at 1964. I mean, I feel good for the city of Cleveland and the Cavaliers and their fans, but as a Browns fan, I'm still looking back to 1964.
Okay. I was wondering about. Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate the honesty. I assume there are people that don't like basketball. If you're a Browns fan and you like football, you don't like basketball, are you looking at this and saying, hey, we won a championship? So, not a big deal, but I was curious about that. If you've been waiting a long amount of time, are you just satisfied the city is able to celebrate? Yeah, McLovin.
I mean, what are you going to do if you're a Browns fan? There's no title on the horizon.
No, there's not. No.
Unless RG3 is.
No, there's no title on the horizon. Ted in Chicago. Hi, Ted.
Got a best and worst of the weekend. Give you the worst first. Lee Westwood's final round at the Open.
Ouch.
Putting up an 80 in a major is never fun. Makes what Dustin Johnson did even more impressive. Can be awful distracting to play with that. And then the best of the weekend, I'm proud to announce that my wife did amazing. And over the weekend on Saturday, gave birth to our first son. So wanted to indoctrinate him into damnation so he can get ready with the bell.
Okay.
We had Cole Joseph weighing in at 6 pounds, 11 ounces.
Well done. Well done. Congratulations to your wife. Thank you, Ted. Hey, one by one, that's how we take him on the program. Poor little thing.
Do you guys say we had a baby when we? Some wives I've known don't like that.
Well, it's sort of like a caddy. Remember when Steve Williams said that we had won all these majors with Tiger Woods? We're sort of a caddy.
Right. Are we having a baby? Like when we found out we were pregnant?
Yeah.
When we found out you were pregnant?
Yeah. And you had the baby.
So I feel like it's got to be a we situation.
No, it's not a we.
It's not?
No.
Really?
The concept is a we. The act is a her.
Yeah. It's 100% her.
Yeah.
Yes. There's no doubt about that.
No, we're caddies. We're caddies. That's all we are.
But it's sort of, it falls under the umbrella of that, like, well, you're not babysitting your own kid.
No, you can't do that.
It's sort of in that chapter, milieu.
Right. Would you guys, if you could have a baby, have a baby?
No, thanks.
Would you?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Fritzy?
Nah, I don't think I want to do that, carry that for 9 months and then push that out.
McLovin?
No, I almost passed out in the room, and I wasn't even giving birth.
Oh, I hyperventilated. They had to bring in orange juice and have me sit in a rocker. Like they were tending to me when my son was born. Like, they all came in looking, they're 10 to my wife, and they're like, oh, no, it's him. He's the one who's going to pass out. By the way, LifeLock, LifeLock.com. Use the promo code FREEDOM15 for a special 15% discount. LifeLock.com. Talk to you tomorrow. We need you to come up with a headline.
Now you can cleave him alone. LeBron James gets title for Cleveland.
I have a headline. King me. You like that as a headline?
Yes.
King me.
Johnny Cochran inspired. If the three ain't falling, the defeat is galling.
That's terrible.
Block party? I know it's a little easy.
If the three ain't falling, the defeat is galling. We all watch a lot of OJ this weekend.
Somebody watched too much, apparently. I really don't think you can raise your hand and be called on for that.
I thought the Warriors were done when they were down 3-1, and I thought the Cavs were done when they were down.
This is DirecTV, now part of the AT&T family and home of the Red Zone, the Fantasy Zone, the Dan Patrick Show, 21 years of NFL Sunday Ticket, Rich Eisen, and America's premier source for sports entertainment.
Brett Laurie, number 15, your second baseman, bringing an all-out effort to every single game. White Sox, Red Sox, tomorrow at 6 on CSN.
You say you want a great new car deal? We dig what you're saying. Come see us now at Schaumburg Ford.
At Schaumburg Ford, get 0% APR for 60 months plus $2,000 bonus cash on Focus, Fusion, and Escape.
Be sure to see us before you buy.
Bob Rohrman.
Bob Rohrman, Schaumburg Ford, just west of the Whitfield Mall on Gulf Road, Schaumburg.
For small business owners, there's never enough time in the day. Carly goes from cooking for 3 people to catering for 300. Basically, we're her back office. Whether it's having flyers available at her venues, banners, posters, we'll be here to help tell her story. And she knows that. Carly knows that.
From printing to packing, shipping to marketing, together, there's nothing we can't solve. Go to a UPS store today to see how.
CSN Chicago is giving you the chance to go behind the scenes with Kelly Kroll, presented by Coors Light. Tour the production truck, go on the field with Kelly, and much more. Enter for your chance to win at csnchicago.com/Coors Light.
Hi, I'm John Lester, and you're watching Home for Cubs Baseball, CSN Chicago, presented by State Farm.
I'll take that game every night, because we'll win a lot of those.
These young guys coming to the big leagues and just performing like they've been here for years.
No outs, good luck.
Be gone, and what a job by Zach Duke.
Hi, everyone. Welcome into SportsNet Central, presented by CLR. I'm Chris Belton. The Cubs and Cards meet up for the first time this season.